Hello and welcome once again everyone. Today's video features the Tier 8 British heavy cruiser HMS Albemarle. As usual, I've included the full ship build including upgrades and captain skills after the main highlights, with the timestamp here on screen for your convenience. If you like this video and find it helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. Makes it really easy for you to find my channel again and keep up to date with future content. And on a personal note, it really helps me gauge the popularity of these videos. Those of you familiar with my channel will already know I've covered the HMS Devonshire and HMS Surrey in previous videos, and you can find the links to these in the top right corner if interested. But the main reason I mentioned the Tier 6 and Tier 7 iterations is that the HMS Albemarle continues on in very much the same vein as her lower tier compatriots. HMS Albemarle, however, comes with a number of significant improvements. In comparison to HMS Surrey at Tier 7, Albemarle comes with major increases in armour protection. 16mm of bow and stern armour is now increased to 25mm, while the main citadel armour remains the same at 152mm. It is now extended all the way from the front turret to the rear turret, which can greatly improve your survivability. An additional 76mm of aft end plating, or lower stern armour, gives you additional protection from the rear, and when kiting away from targets, this becomes a real quality of life improvement. All of this increased armour doesn't mean you have suddenly become Chuck Norris, capable of bouncing all shells with consummate ease and taking no damage. But the trick is to bait your opponents to shoot your citadel instead of trying to overmatch your bow or upper stern, by just showing enough broadside to tempt them into thinking it's possible, and then angling to them instantly as they fire. HMS Albemarle retains the exact same gun caliber and shell ballistics as the HMS Surrey, so all that practice learning to aim these guns has not gone to waste. The turret layout has changed. Instead of the 4x2 layout with the Surrey, Albemarle is armed with a 3x3 layout with 2 turrets at the front, allowing one to bring the majority of Albemarle's gun power to bear on targets while moving forward. The excellent high fire chance is retained, and just a teaser for the rest of the line, this will continue to improve for the remainder of the British heavy cruiser line, with HMS Drake and HMS Goliath, on which I hope to upload videos on both in the not too distant future. Swapping to armour piercing, as this Edinburgh is showing broadside, although he has now started to angle away. The armour piercing shells of the Albemarle can feel a little underwhelming at times. That Synop was actually shooting me with high explosive there. Edinburgh is now fully angled away. I'm going to change back to high explosive. Did 4700. But now conditions have deteriorated here. Both sides have lost a destroyer at this capture point, and we are outnumbered. There is a Synop and a Tier 9 British battleship Lion up there. I do have some support from a Musashi, but as you can see now, the vast majority of her team has all moved towards and is currently occupying the 10 line. Having forced that Edinburgh to retreat, I think I can push in and capture this point. Albemarle will be surface detected at 9.8 kilometers with a full stealth build, so I should have enough room to maneuver, get in, capture and start falling back towards the centre, because we remain very isolated on this side of the map. This is random battles, and teams can have the tendency to take up some very peculiar positions at times, and this game appears to be no exception. It would suddenly appear that enemy Synop that has been stationary has now decided to push forward, and I'm not going to be able to get in and pass in front of this island without getting detected and be fully exposed I'm just going to drop some torps on the Synop as he is pushing forward. The torpedo range on the Albemarle has been increased to 10 kilometers. So one is able to drop torps from concealment. Synop would appear to have hit the brakes again, so those torps are going to be short. Just going to open fire, use this island as potential cover. Attempt to get some fires going on this Synop. There's one, salvo 3500. He is reversing away. Enemy line would appear to be moving away also. Another salvo 3800. He has repaired that fire and continues to reverse away. Just going to stop here for a moment. I'm not being targeted. You can always use this island as quick cover and escape. Line is stationary and he's just out of range and is undetected. The Kitakaze has pushed forward from the B cap and ambushed my Musashi and virtually taken him out in one foul swoop. Now the situation has gone from bad to worse. I'm left here completely on my own. There is an enemy Kitakaze in the capture point, and he will be able to keep me perma-spotted. Got suddenly 3 targeting me. That Synop has changed to armor piercing and now poses a real threat. Continue to fall back and kite here. Shouts from the Lion. They've managed to incapacitate both my torpedo launchers. Synop has fired again. I'm just going to have to fall back. Nothing left to do here. Kitakaze is keeping me perma-spotted. Continue to angle away. The Kita has made a slight mistake here. He has put the island between myself and himself. He's able to land a salvo 3000 with his HE. But it does give me a moment of brief respite. I'm able to drop detection. I'm going to continue to shell the Synop though, to break line of sight again with these islands. Meanwhile, my whole team is still ensconced in behind those islands. The Synop is burning. Just going to keep HE pressure on him for the moment. The Albemarle does come with the British super heal, which is capable of healing up to 945 HP per second for 20 seconds when mounting the India Delta signal flag. It's not often I recommend signal flags, as they are mostly saved for competitive play, but in the case of the Albemarle, India Delta is really quite useful. Having 3 of these super repair parties can add potentially almost 10k extra HP over the course of a game, so for a cruiser that's outstanding. I've actually repaired a little prematurely here with that Synop firing high explosive. I should have just let that fire burn. No fire there. Looks like he's trying to get in behind the island. Just going to keep him under HE pressure for as long as possible. We're almost 300 points behind in this game. And there's the price you pay for prematurely repairing a fire. I'm fortunate it's just a single fire, not a double or triple, so I have no choice but to let this burn. We lose a couple of ships in quick succession. That doesn't help our cause. We're down to 180 points. The enemy's at 550. That Synop is definitely looking to get into cover there. The fire is about to burn out. Try and get another fire on this Synop before he gets in behind the island. He has changed to armor piercing. Instantly slow down here. He does get some penetrations on my upper belt. He does, however, manage to get in behind that island and drop detection. So I've lost all vision on him for the moment. I am being joined from a York who has decided there is too much shenanigans going on at the sea capture point. The rest of our team is all now conglomerated around that one island. The Yugumo has given me a line of sight on that Synop. I'm actually daydreaming here a bit and slow to realise I can actually hit the Synop from here. These floaty arcs of the British cruisers, I am able to lob shells over that island and set him on fire again. I'm sure he found that quite annoying. The Edinburgh is coming in. He's a little outside range. I'm going to have to move towards him and close distance. That enemy Kitakazi is still in the area. I'm just going to pop Hydro. Enemy Synop has popped out from behind that island again. It'd be nice to get a second fire on his rear superstructure. Got one targeting me. It would appear he's got his guns aimed at me. No fire. No, he's firing at the York. I was angled and ready to turn just in case he was shooting at me. And we managed to finish off that enemy Synop and remove the threat from my broadside. Get the Arsonist achievement. Now start focusing on this enemy Edinburgh. He has slowed down, it would seem. Yes, those shells all land short. He's turned to bow in. Still not quite sure, and there's the Kitakazi. I suspected he was close. Just going to turn bow in now so I can tank this armor piercing. And this is one of the strengths of the Albemarle. With the majority of your guns, you can go bow in against targets like this. Focus fire on this enemy Kitakazi. Set him on fire. Almost 5,000 damage. He did repair his broken engine, so that fire is sticking. Probably will be enough to finish him off. Not quite. Do knock out his torpedo tubes. And the Kitakazi burns down. Edinburgh is also on fire. Let's see if I can secure this kill. Not quite. He burns down to the Yugumo. But unfortunately, the Yugumo gets taken out with the Edinburgh's final salvo. My own failure to kill the Edinburgh quickly enough ensures he was able to get off a final salvo and take out that Yugumo, and that could be the one that actually costs us. The Cleveland, who had been in behind the island for most of the game, sailed out into the open in front of 3 of the enemy ships. Not a place that Cleveland wants to be, caught in the open like that, and he instantly gets deleted. Some of the chat in this game has been quite entertaining, but what entertained me even more was some of our team's positioning. These 2 Jean Barts are still firmly entrenched in behind these islands, and the chat is ongoing, referring to said Jean Barts. But where there's a will, there's a way. This match isn't lost yet. If we can push in and take this B capture point, it will rectify the points loss, and we still have almost 4.5 minutes to turn this around. All the enemy team is unspotted at the moment. The Jean Barts, still sitting behind the islands, have no vision on any of the enemy team. It does, however, allow me to push in here uncontested. One of the Jean Barts does manage to take out the Alaska, and on the positive side, the fact that they've maintained their position behind these islands the whole game, they have been able to maintain their health pools, and in a final furious bout of action, that might prove yet decisive. I am telling them in no uncertain terms to get out and fight. Enemy lion is spotted. Miraculously, the Jean-Barts are pushing out into the open. Enemy Atago appears in front of me. Instantly open fire. I could have used armor piercing there, but he was angled ever so slightly away. And it's a very maneuverable cruiser. I do manage to set him on fire. Seems to be making a turn. Just trying to predict how much he actually is going to start turning. Just one pen. I overestimated his turn. A very mobile, maneuverable cruiser, the Atago. I do suspect he's trying to torpedo our Jean-Bart. Maintain him as primary. I'm having real issues trying to land any volley of real consequence on him. I did manage to incapacitate something. This Atago is proving to be a bit of a slippery customer. He's almost definitely already put his torps in the water against that Jean-Bart. Once again, only 2 penetrations. Trying to sequentially fire my guns here for something better. You get a couple of hits for only just over 2,000. He's making a hard turn, which will slow him down slightly. Did manage to incapacitate his torpedo tubes there, but it's probably too late. Sure enough it is. He took out our Jean-Bart with torpedoes. I am able to exact a little bit of revenge for that Jean-Bart. And that just leaves an enemy Helena. And the Jean-Bart, surprisingly enough, deletes the Helena. And from the most unlikely of positions, we're able to secure the win. It's a bit of a slow burner this game, just like the Albemarle itself. Almost 2,500 XP. Before going to the complete ship build, I've added some links, including the Help Me Discord and my own personal Discord in the description below. Now on to the build. Starting off with the consumables, I always try and stress the importance of using premium to decrease the cooldown time of your damage control, and in this case add extra charges of repair party, defensive fire and spotter aircraft. Albemarle gets 5 ship upgrade slots, starting off with Main Armaments Mod 1, Damage Control Mod 1, Aiming Systems Mod 1, Steering Gears Mod 1, and finally Concealment System Mod 1. Onto the captain skills, starting with Priority Target, Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent and Concealment Expert for your first 10 points. A very balanced 19-point captain will then include skills like Preventive Maintenance, Expert Loader, Jack of all trades, Expert Marksman and Demolition Expert in the training order of your own choice. So let's take a look at what this build means for the ship's final stats. For survivability, Albemarle gets 43,800 hit points, which is further enhanced by 3 super repair parties. Main artillery consists of 3x3 203mm guns, 2 in the front and 1 in the rear, with 15.7 kilometers in range, with a reload speed of 13 seconds. Albemarle gets a torpedo rating of 23, with 2 X4 launchers, 1 on each side, with 10 kilometers in range, 62 knots of speed, with a reload time of 96 seconds. Albemarle gets an AA defense rating of 75, with a long-range defense of 5.8 kilometers, which is further enhanced by the defensive fire consumable. For maneuverability, Albemarle gets a max B speed of 33 knots, a turning circle of 720 meters, and a rudder shift time of 8.6 seconds. Finally, Albemarle has a concealment rating of 71, meaning you will be surface detected at 9.8 kilometers and by aircraft at 6.2 kilometers. I'd like to thank you once again all for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. Take a moment to check out some of my most recent videos and leave a comment below. And until the next time, keep sailing it like you stole it.